A woman and her 2 children held hostage in a house on the east side. It triggered a standoff that lasted for hours Tuesday night at a home on South New Braunfels Avenue.
New tonight, we're learning it was part of a smuggling operation involving a violent Mexican gang. Eyewitness News reporter Roxy Bustamante is in studio tonight taking a closer look at this case.
And Roxy, has anyone been arrested?
3 men are in custody, and according to the affidavit, they told police they were taking orders from a Mexican cartel called Zetas.
But it's like boom, boom.
The sound of flashbangs echoed through this east side neighborhood as officers worked to rescue a family held captive in a rental house.
This is a really quiet area. I think they were people that had just moved in, so we're not familiar with who they were.
An affidavit revealed that the undocumented mother and 2 children were being held against their will. The woman's ex-husband told police Zetas gang members wanted $12,000 to get the children and the mother to the United States. Once they were smuggled to the alleged stash house here in San Antonio, the gang members demanded an additional $12,000 for their release. That's when the ex-husband called police.
Crazy to see that, come out and see that.
Officers later spotted a pickup truck leaving the house with the 2 children and mother along with 2 suspects. Police followed that truck, saving the victims and arresting the 2 men. After the standoff at the alleged stash house, another suspect was found inside and taken into custody. Police also say another man was found inside the house and will be held as a material witness. There's no word yet, though, on whether the family will be sent back to Mexico. Roxy Bustamante, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.